So I'm just going to talk a little bit about spring barley disease control. So these 4 pictures here are the 4 main diseases that we get in spring barley. So we have rhynchosporium, ramularia, net blotch and mildew. So once you've decided what diseases you have in your crop, then you can decide when are the best times to apply the fungicides. So from work that we have carried out here over the last number of years, we have found that the best time to apply your first fungicide is at late tillering. The idea behind this is to protect your tillers, because in barley the grain number is determined very early on, so the more tillers you have, the more grain you will have at harvest. So then the second fungicide is applied at growth stage 49, so this is when the awns are peeping, so when they're just about kind of an inch or an inch and a half above the ligule. The idea for this spray is to protect your green leaf area and your awns, because the more green leaf area you have, the more photosynthesis you'll have for grain fill. This is the best time to apply your second spray, because if you wait for another 2 weeks for your ears to be fully out at growth stage 59, we have found that you can lose up to 0.4 of a tonne per hectare. Now we can move on to what you can actually apply to your crop. The best advice is to use a mix of actives in your tank. So 2 actives is better than 1, 3 actives is better than 2. At each of your fungicide timings, you're going to be applying both a triazole and an SDHI or a strobilurin, depending on what you're trying to control. And then at your second spray, you will also be putting in Bravo for ramularia. This is essential. Okay, so then to talk a little bit more about ramularia itself. So ramularia is a disease that's becoming very important in both winter and spring barley. It has potentially to significantly reduce both the yield and the quality of your crop. It eats into the green leaf area of the leaves on your plants, so that is how it affects it. So this will reduce your photosynthesis and your potential grain fill. Currently, Bravo is the best option to control ramularia, but we are losing this from May next year, May 2020. So Folpit will be the option to use next year to control your ramularia. Varieties currently don't have a huge role to play at the moment, as we don't have the resistance in them, but hopefully down the line this will become a bigger factor when farmers are picking the varieties for their spring barley crops. There are some new fungicides coming on the market in the next few years. We're still testing them here to see how they work on ramularia, but they do work slightly differently than Bravo, whereas with Bravo you can just put it on at your second spray and it will generally keep out your ramularia. However, from now on we probably will have to use Folpit plus a mixture of different actives to give the same level of control. So then just basically the take-home message from this here is to be really accurate with your fungicide timing. It's very essential that you apply your fungicides at the correct time to get your best yield, because both fungicide timings give you 50% of your yield each. So to make sure that your first one goes on at late tillering to protect your tillers, and your second one at when the awns are peeping, and not to wait until your ear is fully out.